Matthew, as I kind of read through sort of about Supply Point, you've kind of highlighted this as it's a unique network of select trucking, freight forwarding, pallet, and packaging. Not the most sexy business in the world, but
Come on, Frank.
well,
Neither are we.
first of all, the best businesses that are out there are the businesses that are not the sexiest businesses. Those are the best businesses to be in. But when I read that, I'm reading between the lines, and I really think you're in the trust business is really what you're in. There's
You
nothing more important if as the customer, as your customer, than having this confidence in you and trusting you that you're going to be able to package, pallet, and ship my product. How do you help clients that you meet from the very beginning trust you?
That's a great question, and I think that's the core of what we do.
Yeah.
These folks might start off buying pallets from you, for instance, and it might just look like a commodity, but it's not. This is something they need to conduct business. If you bring in the wrong size or you don't bring them in at all or the wrong quantity, that has ripple down effects and can be catastrophically expensive. When you disrupt or shut down a company's production, it's astronomically expensive for them. So they need to know that who they're partnering with. It's not just selling them pallets. They're partnering with them to be a part of their operation. And so once you gain that trust, you engage in the due diligence required to make that customer happy. Now they know they can expand the relationship with you. Let's see what else we can do with you folks that offer quality products and services at a very good price and won't let me down. So that's the whole core of Supply Point. You hit the nail right on the head.
That's super smart that you're starting out with, baby steps. You're probably not going to get somebody's all their
That's right.
business from the very beginning, but you're establishing the relationship. It really is a long-term relationship kind of transaction.
It is.
Yeah.
May I chime in on that real
Please.
quick?
Yeah, please do.
So one thing that's kind of what I love about our model, what I think helps with ramp up, you are building those relationships. Those are residual income streams that you're creating. And then as your relationship starts to grow with that customer, you can create multiple streams of residual income, more sticky. You can get really integrated. And then there's a book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why.
Yes.
There's the what we sell, the how we sell it. We answer a phone, we're communicative, but it's the why we sell it, right? And it's, as he kind of mentioned, these customers that we're working with, they become like friends and family.
Yep.
You can take them out for lunch, bring them breakfast, play golf with them. You develop a rapport, but they know that they can rely on you to have their back. And remember, if their production line shuts down, they could lose their job. So they're basically tasking a Supply Point individual with a big duty there. Don't let me look bad. My
Right.
life depends on it. So it's a win-win. We got your back, but also you're growing your business within that account, and they get used to dealing with a polished professional. That's what we're teaching is we got great business owners on our team that we're really schooling up and training the heck out of to make sure that they know how to build those rapport. So I think it starts with that relationship. It's a like and trust business for sure. Right?
Yeah. You're right. Your brand promise is trust. Yeah, for sure.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well said.
So, Adam, let me ask you this. So we're cruising along. You start out, you're in 2012 now, and you guys opened your first franchise in 2018. But while you did kind of, you kind of tipped me off into franchising, but I would love to hear on when you guys started really talking about franchising and when was that defining moment? Like, this is what we're going to do and why we're going to do it.
I'll get back to, that 2016, 2017, I've been in business for a couple years. My dad and I started to, we've always had a very close relationship. We're talking more about Cincinnati Reds and the sports stuff, but we hadn't really had a business relationship. And we had realized, hey, I touched on this earlier, we have duplicated the model. And more importantly, it changed my life. And I think a motivation for him and I was a couple of things. One, it's a legacy business where him and I can work together. I think he cares about my grandkids just as much as I do. And we'd love to see, us transition the business to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity to work together with your father. It changed his life. It changed mine. And let's fine tune this model. Let's really roll up our sleeves and figure out how we can duplicate this to a non-Cahill boy and
Right.
start bringing in individuals in different marketplaces. And, that's what you start looking for, Frank, is who is the right franchisee? What are we offering? How can we scale and ramp these folks up? And, that's a big responsibility on us. We take that very, very serious. And so we didn't just start tomorrow and do that. We took a little bit of time to really get that hone in on that craft. And that's why the idea kind of popped at 2016, but we didn't start until the 2018 range to start franchising. And we haven't been looking back since. We're having a lot of fun together, man.
Awesome. Were you both on board with the idea, or did one of you guys have to convince the other franchising is the way to go?
We kind of had the same brainstorm, to be honest with you, at the same time, and I can still recall it. We were on the beach drinking Coronas.
That's
how
great.
The Irish get their
great
best
meeting.
ideas. You know?
It's true.
But we had a unique business model that I feel the customers created, which is what I felt really good about the business model. This young man duplicated it 8.5 hours away in a totally different market with no sales training, no sales experience. He and I talked on the phone a couple of times, now more than a few times, but we talked on the phone when he had situations coming up. I went down, spent a couple of days with him. He just took the business model and just ran with it. And then in just a couple of years, he blew by his old man. I mean, and
Awesome.
to be honest with you, I'm still a little bitter about that. I wanted him to be good, but not that good. But he's done tremendously with the business model with no sales background at all. And that's when we realized, you know what, we got something special here.
Yeah.
And we both realized it changed our lives. We wanted to change some other lives as well.
And you've got 11 franchises open in 7 states, and you've got a couple more locations that are coming on. I'm curious. I have a feeling I know who your ideal franchise owner is based on the things we've talked about so far. But why don't one of you guys share with me who is really your ideal franchise owner? Give me that avatar, and what are the traits they need to have in order to be super successful?
I would love to tackle that one first, if that's okay. We are looking for wealth builders. We don't want entrepreneurs. We want empire builders, because there's an opportunity to really put some crazy numbers up on the board. I think there's 7-figure income potentials here. There's a lot of opportunity. So we are looking for the wealth builder. We make the joke we're allergic to overhead. There's no storefront, no machinery. You don't got to go drive a truck around and all that. But if you can build a team around you. But we're looking for those people that really want to build an asset. We'll teach them. We'll teach them how to do all that. This is all about the franchisee. We tell them it's their journey. You're using Supply Point as the vehicle to get from A to B. And if those are, we have a very thorough sales process in the franchise development department. We've got amazing people running that show there. So we make sure people come in, they jive with that. But also, one of the most important things, do they resonate with our culture and our core values? Something that I think rubber stamp on the family-owned businesses. Treat people the way you want to be treated. We literally say our core value, the number one, is the golden rule. And it's real easy to just, talk about it, but we walk about it. We don't talk the talk, we walk the walk. And one of the first things I say to somebody when I meet them is, what is it about our culture and core values that resonates with you? And it's a good way to detect who's really interested and who's going to jive. And it helps make decisions in the long run a lot easier when you really define what your culture and core values are. But I forget your question, but yeah, that was my answer.
The ideal franchise.
The ideal franchise. Yeah.
Okay. And so give me an idea, though, the traits in order to be successful. What are the things that they need to have in order to be a super successful franchise owner?
We have some amazing folks from the military ranks that are part of our team. Just amazing human beings. Love them. And these guys are polished, they're disciplined, they follow a proven model, and they understand teamwork. And that's why you should buy a franchise, is because you can participate in those kind of things. If you're not interested in those kind of things, you shouldn't buy a franchise.
Right.
Seriously. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that believe in themselves, they're polished, they're disciplined, they treat people the way they want to be treated, and they can follow a proven model and share with your teammates. Help your teammates grow. And these guys are fantastic. Not just the military. I don't want to just say that. We have folks that are non-military that are amazing as well, but that's why I think the military folks migrate to our system.
I think, Adam, you mentioned earlier, I think maybe it was before we started recording, but we talked about Discovery Day. You have what do you call your Discovery Day?
It's a virtual Discovery Day is what we do. But during their onboarding, their training, they do come to Charlotte for hands-on learning.
Okay. So Adam, what does training look like?
Great question. First of all, as soon as they sign, we introduce them to our franchise success team. We have a amazing group behind them that understand franchising, understand that These individuals put a hefty investment in, and we take that very seriously. So we have an onboarding specialist, and then we have a trainer that they meet on day one. They have an LMS, which is a learning management system for online training. And then very quickly, within week 1 or 2, they're already being thrown into an instructor-led training. That takes a couple weeks. Once they've graduated initial training, they very quickly go into the next level of training. So we don't let them just ride on an island. They have to work with a sales trainer. We have a business coach as well. And we do a monthly mastermind group where the entire team, all hands, come in on a monthly basis. And then, of course, I'm available. My dad's available. They have our phone numbers. We check on them. But we feel like, with being a former school teacher, that nobody will ever not know what they're supposed to do. But I have to give credit to an individual in the franchising community. He doesn't know who I am, but I watched him talk at an IFA conference. His name's Dave Barr. And he said something at a session. If a franchisee is struggling, you got to take responsibility and blame yourself and fix that. And number 2, the worst thing you can do as a franchisor is let your folks just sit on and rot on an island,
right,
and they never hear from you. I don't think that's cool. I really think about being proactively engaged with education. So we have great people that can teach and train. We have great systems. We have great curriculums. We want to make sure they're well prepared, and I think we do a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Is your expectation when I leave training, if I'm a franchisee, am I knocking on doors, or am I hiring a team of salespeople that are doing that?
That's a phenomenal question. It's a combination of everything, right? So you're going to have inbound leads. There's outbound leads. A franchisee definitely needs to be involved and engaged in their marketplace. We have options for telemarketing, in-house appointment setting. I am personally excited about having sales reps. Actually, we've been looking at some folks to add to our Cincinnati and Charlotte market. We have inside sales for us. So that's the old beauty of Supply Point, is the ability to scale out the model. We don't want people buying themselves a job, Frank. Mm-hmm. There's a crawl, walk, run with that. We understand that, building a team takes time and it's an investment, but we teach and train, hey, you're building an asset. So don't just build a really big income and then it's just you. Build a team around you that can take that thing and really take it to the next level. Because we talk about 10X, and you can't do that on your own. You got to build a team. So scalability is a big deal for us too, Frank. And that you do that by hiring people like sales reps and telemarketing appointment setting.
How big is the territory?
Great question. So I'll take that one too. We're responsible with that. And the way that works is we're looking at industrial counts, mm-hmm. right? We don't care about necessarily population. So it doesn't make sense to put somebody in Manhattan and try to find all the businesses in Manhattan, right? Right. We are looking for the industrial area. So you're going to get 1,000 targeted business counts in your first territory. And then, of course, we like multi-unit owners. That's part of that empire building conversation we had earlier. So it's enough space to really do some damage. But if you want to take your business to that next level, getting more territory and space and putting an infrastructure with that can really take your business, off the charts.
Do you guys have a combination right now of single and multi-unit franchise owners?
That's correct.
How many multis do you have of the 11 franchises?
We just brought on 3 additional. So sorry. And then we've actually looked at some of our old guard. They're starting to realize, you know what? It's time to start taking this thing to the next level. They've made some good money. And we've talked to them, hey, it's nice to pocket that and take some nice trips, but also reinvest in your business. And remember, start with why. Why are you here in the first place? You're building that asset. So in 7, 8, 10, 12 years from now, you're building something really big and special. So these existing franchisees are starting to look at multi-unit ownerships too. And we've had a couple do that.
That's a great sign, of course, of a successful franchise concept when people want to buy more. Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.